Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Param Vranimahe Tapi. Natatat Paratap Parat. Nahyantatvad Vibhutinam. Sananta iti giyase. Translation and purport by His Divine Gom Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Paribhajakacharya Astatarisadhishi Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta 3 Dandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. Dear Lord, we shall therefore pray for your benediction, because you are the Supreme, beyond all transcendence, and because there is no end to your opulences. Consequently, you are celebrated by the name Anant. There is no need for the potatoes to ask any benediction from the Supreme Lord, because the devotees are simply satisfied by the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Guru Maharaj practiced severe austerities and penances to see the Supreme Lord, and his intention was to receive benediction from the Lord. He wanted to acquire the throne of his father, or even attain a better position, but when he was actually in the presence of the Supreme Lord, he forgot everything. He said, "My dear Lord, I do not wish for any benediction." This is the actual position of the devotee. The devotee simply wants to be in the presence of the Supreme Lord, either in this world or in the next, and engage in his service. That is the ultimate goal and benediction for the devotees. The Lord asked the potatoes to pray for some benediction. They said, what kind of benediction we should pray for? The Lord is unlimited and there are unlimited benedictions. The purport is that if one must ask for a benediction, he must ask for unlimited benediction. The words Savat Parata are very significant in this verse. The Supreme Personality of God is Parata Para. The word Para means transcendental, beyond this material world. The impersonal Brahman effulgence is beyond this material world, and this is called Parampadam, Arurya Krishna Parampadam, Bhagavatam 10.232. Merging into the impersonal fullness of the Lord is called Parampadam, but there is a higher transcendental position, which is the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavanati Shabdyate. The Absolute Truth is realized first as impersonal Brahman, then as Paramatma, and finally as Bhagavan. Thus, the personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, is Paratap Parat, beyond Brahman and Paramatma realization. In this connection, Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Paratap Parat means better than the best. The best is the spiritual world, and it is known as Brahman. The Supreme Personality of God, however, is known as Paratap Brahman, Para Brahman. Therefore, Paratap Brahman means better than Brahman realization. As we'll explain in the next verses, the potatoes plan to ask the Lord for something that is no limit. The Lord's pastimes, qualities, forms, and names are all unlimited. There is no limit to his name, forms, pastimes, creation, and paraphernalia. The living entity cannot conceive of the unlimitedness of this unlimited. However, if the living entities are engaged in hearing about the unlimited potency of the Supreme Lord, they are factually connected directly to the unlimited. Such understanding of the unlimited becomes unlimited by hearing and chanting. Wow. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Dalakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Savitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, looking back at this wonderful purport by our beloved founder Acharya, we read the first sentence, which is very, very unlimited in its depth, in its scope of meaning and benediction. There was no need for the Pratetas to ask any benediction from the Supreme Lord, because the devotees are simply satisfied by the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's all you need. You say, well, if I go back to Godhead, then I can experience the presence of the Supreme. Great, go for it. But you don't need to go back to Godhead to experience the presence of the Supreme. The Supreme is fully present in the deities. For those who have come to approach the deities with love, in devotion, the Lord is fully present in the deity form, and the Lord is fully present in the name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. He is also fully present in his Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham. So Krishna is fully present. So that's all you need to be satisfied. To feel, experience, to taste. I read this morning, Prabhupada said, taste the beauty of the Supreme Lord. We usually talk about tasting beauty? That's an unusual concept, isn't it? Tasting. You ever heard about tasting beauty? That we learned from Prabhupada. You can taste the beauty of the Supreme Lord. It's like you get a nice rasagula, you can taste it. Oh wow, really a good rasagula, you see. So just like you can taste a really good rasagula, you can taste the beauty of the Supreme Lord. If you approach the name, the dham, the teachings, the form, in the mood of devotion. That means kicking out all the lust, the anger, the greed, the madness, illusion, and envy. As Prabhupada ordered me, all material desires zero. You have to, what do we say in Bhagavad Gita? Vishayavani vartante nirahara dehina rashavasham rashopyashva parang vishmani vartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, but the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, what is the position? He is fixed in consciousness. So what does that mean? What is that called when you are fixed in consciousness? It's called Krishna consciousness, isn't it? So that's the purpose of our movement, is to train the members how to be fixed in consciousness by getting the higher taste. So right now we're being pulled between the higher taste and the lower taste. Krishna consciousness and sense gratification. There's a battle going on with the mind, you see, like a windshield wiper. Krishna Bhakriya Krishna Maya, going back and forth. Krishna Maya, back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. You see. So how do we become steady where we're only fixed in Krishna? That's the challenge for us neophyte devotees. How to come to the advanced stage where we're only thinking about Krishna, talking about Krishna, serving Krishna, meditating, feeling Krishna, tasting the beauty of Krishna 24/7 in all times, places and circumstances, in the Dham, in Delhi, in Austin, in New York, in Latchia, in Los Angeles, in Kaunas, whatever we may be, or traveling on the airplane or the train or in a rickshaw, a cab or whatever. We're walking in whatever position, absolutely every situation, how to feel the presence of Krishna, how to taste the beauty of Krishna. So that requires becoming completely focused. Yato yato nischalati man nischansadamastaram tatastato yayamya atmayavavashamya, from whatever and wherever the mind wanders. Due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So Krishna says this mind is very flickering and unsteady. very flickering. The mind wants to jump here, jump, like the monkeys, jumping here, jumping there. Our mind is like a jumping monkey. It cannot remain steady in one place. This is why we have to go higher under the control of the self, Krishna says. So the self it's a very nice simile we've many times explained. The senses are the horses, the mind is the reins, the intelligence is the driver, and the Atma, the soul, is the passenger. So the passenger tells the driver, intelligent, my dear driver, I want to go to Krishna Loka, I don't want to go to Yama Loka. So then the driver, the mind is the rein, so then he has to keep the rein under control, you see. In other words, if the horse is running wild, and they yank the reins out of the hands of the driver, then you're in trouble. They take you off the cliff. You can't let the horses run wild. The mind, the tongue, the belly, the genitals, etc. You cannot let them run wild. You cannot give the mind the power of attorney to do whatever it wants to do. You can't let the horses control the mind. You control the reins. You have to keep the mind. The intelligence is the agent of the driver, the passenger. The intelligence is the agent of the passenger. The passenger tells the driver, I want to go here. So you have to fix your intelligence in Krishna consciousness. I have to know what's good for me and I know what's bad for me. And I have to keep the mind always properly engaged. When I see the mind is going off the track, I have to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. You see. So the mind is properly controlled, which is the reins, in the sense that we also control the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. If the mind is properly fixed in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the intelligence, according to the instructions of the driver, then you're in good shape. You can achieve that desired destination, which is what? To feel the presence of Krishna. You don't have to think about going back to home, back to Godhead. You simply have to think, how can I feel the presence of Krishna? That means you're already back to home, back to Godhead, wherever you may be, your job and the commute, wherever you may be. You're already back to home, back to Godhead. You're already feeling the presence of Krishna. It's such a person will automatically attain the spiritual world upon leaving his body, because he's already in the spiritual world. The spiritual world is a state of consciousness, actually. It's a physical place also, but that consciousness of Krishna consciousness will actually place you already in the spiritual world, because Krishna is present here in the material world also. It's not that Krishna is not present, as Prabhupada told us in San Francisco. Krishna is the light of the sun. He's the taste of the water. Those so nice descriptions in the Bhagavad Gita. He's the healing herb also. He's the sound in ether. He's the ability in man. So if we learn how to connect with Krishna and feel and experience Krishna in every situation, then we're in good shape. So we have to learn how to become free from being misled by all the distractions, and they're very heavy in this Kali Yuga. Prabhupada said everywhere they have cigarette, they have liquor, they have naked women. All these distractions are there to pull us away, to lock us in to the chains of the Kali Yuga. We're locked in. We have to learn how to give it up, become detached from it. Just like that sannyasi yesterday, he was giving his own story, how he became a devotee. He was getting attracted to Krishna. He set up a little tent by the beach, nice, beautiful, natural area, and some friend of his came with marijuana and 2 women. Yes, now we can enjoy together. So what he did, he just packed up his tent and left. He said it was Maya's test. His friend came with a woman, he can have illicit sex with this woman. He just packed up a tent and get out of there, So we have to see that we're being tested again and again in this way and that way. We have to always say, no, Maya, I'm not interested. I'm not interested, Maya. No, I'm out of here. You can do whatever damn thing you want to do, but I have no interest in you. My only interest is Krishna. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 raksa mam. Krishna, 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 pahi mam. To be totally fixed in Krishna with nothing else to do, nothing else to think about in every situation. So many people, devotees, write me, what should I do? What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? If you just focus in Krishna consciousness, everything will be revealed to you. If you just focus on being Krishna's pure devotee, what the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things shall be added unto you. So don't worry about this or that, or this or that, this or that, material arrangements. Don't worry about them. Just focus on being Krishna's pure devotee, and Krishna will give you intelligence how to deal with the material energy in such a way you're no longer conquered by it, no longer entrapped in it. So this is why it's very important to have a good association. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Ikai. Sadhu Sangha Lava Matra Sarva Siddhi Hoy. We're reading. The association of devotees is so vital. Even when Lava Matra, even, can you imagine Lava Matra is 1/11th of a second? Even if you have the association of the devotees of a Lord, the proper fixed up devotees for 1/11th of a second, that association can liberate you. Sarva Siddhi Hoy, all perfections. Sarva, not just one siddhi, but Sarva Siddhi. All perfections are conducted by 1/11th of a second with the properly situated devotees of the Lord. So we must seek out, and a bona fide spiritual master also is essential. He's the chief of the devotees. Yasha prasadat bhagavat prasado yasha prasada nagati kantopi. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one will see the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, no one can make any advancement. So Vishwanath Chakravarti is very kindly enlightened us. We sing it every morning in Mangalarti. We should know the meaning. We require the grace of the spiritual master. You can't jump over the head of the spiritual master and go to Krishna. Step on the Guru Maharaj's head, I'm going to Krishna. You say, no. Sometimes disciples do that. They think, well, who needs a guru? I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need this guru. Well, good luck. Prabhupada said such devotees are finished. They're finished. So we have to go through the mercy of the spiritual master. A very essential thing. If we disobey the order of the spiritual master, then we're in great difficulty. We can't do it on our own. Krishna will not accept. Who are you? You upstart coming here on your own thing. You don't need to follow your spiritual master. Who do you think you are? You're not welcome in my kingdom. You see. Only the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee is my devotee. You want to be directly my devotee? No way. You cannot be. To become my devotee, you must become the devotee of my devotee, and that devotee means the spiritual master. To become my devotee, you must become the devotee of the spiritual master. Then I accept you. You see. Just like when Prabhupada was here, everything was completely revolved around Prabhupada. You see. You must always. We weren't thinking we Krishna conscious on our own. We're thinking we have to be. It was Prabhupada consciousness actually. We have to always think about how we can please Prabhupada, how we can serve him, what his teachings are. Everything was completely wrapped up in Srila Prabhupada. Everything totally wrapped up in him, because it's by his mercy that we can become Krishna conscious. So let's see, that's the first sentence. Let's look at the second sentence in the purport. That was the first sentence. Now we got many more sentences to look at. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I don't know, we still have this or not? No, we lost it. Okay. All right. See if we can get him back on again. The second sentence. See, let's get him in here.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the wonderful world of Krishna consciousness, the dimension of eternity, knowledge, and bliss.
There are 20 participants in the conference. All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves. All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves. All participants are muted.
So now the second sentence. Rupa Maharaj practiced severe austerities and penances to see the Supreme Lord. His intention was to receive benediction from the Lord. So you can do that, but what's the difficulty? You're self-centered. You see. You're still trying to, you may do severe penance and austerities, but you're trying to serve yourself. Such a position is quite dangerous. Doing severe penances and austerities, just like Vishwamitra Muni, very, very severe austerities and penances. But he became so powerful, the king of heaven was worried. He's so powerful he may take over my post. So he sent a beautiful damsel from the heavenly region, Menaka. And he was sitting there with his eyes closed, but as soon as he heard her ankle bells, oh, a woman has come. And he ended up having sex life with Menaka and lost his position, you see. So if you're simply doing penances and austerities for your own benefit, you're susceptible to fall down. Like Vishwamitra fell down with Menaka, you see. You're susceptible to fall down. You're very susceptible because you're not getting the higher taste. In other words, even doing severe penances and austerities for your own benefit, it's still sense gratification. He was doing the mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga system, you see. Ashtanga yoga system. But it's still sense gratification. It's still sense gratification. The next sentence. He wanted to acquire the throne of his father, or attain even a bigger position. But Dhruva was, by that austerity, he got the presence of the Lord. It's pretty severe austerities. But then he got it. No, I don't need it. This reminds me of the other pastime. We all heard it many times. That thief. He heard some meeting in South India. The Bhagavatam reciter was saying how there in Vrindavan, this little boy Krishna is wandering around the forest all alone with no parental supervision, loaded with valuable jewels. You think, oh, a little boy and wandering in the forest all alone, valuable. Let me go to Vrindavan and I will become a millionaire overnight. I'll meet that boy and I'll take the jewels. So he wanted to see Krishna for the purpose of stealing his jewels. Can you imagine? So he came all the way to Vrindavan. He was looking, and his desire was so intense. I must find that boy. I must find that boy. I must find that boy. And his desire was so intense. Krishna actually revealed himself. And he said, oh, you have so many valuable jewels. Krishna, can you give me something? No, my mother will be very angry. She will scold me. No, I cannot do. But by that association with Krishna, he became a pure devotee. And he lost all desire. Then Prabhupada said, yes. And then Krishna said, now you can take it. So it's possible, if one comes with intense material desires, doing all kinds of austerities, it's possible. But it's also dangerous. So we don't recommend approaching Krishna, I desire this, I desire that. We don't recommend them. That's a dangerous position. You can lead to fall down. Sometimes they're successful, but they're also not unsuccessful, also like Vishwamitra. So we shouldn't follow the pathway of Dhruva and that thief. We should follow the pathway of Srila Prabhupada and our great Vaishnava acharyas. That's the safe position. My dear Lord, I do not wish any benediction. So why do all these penances and austerities to come to the point, I don't want any benediction? Why not just do it right now? Why not just say it right now? I don't want any benediction. Why not you get a head start on the whole process? Say right now, I don't want any benediction. Why not just say it right now? My dear Lord, I do not want any benediction except to serve you. Why not come to that position immediately? Instead of doing all these penances and austerities like Dhruva, why not just immediately come to that position? Now you got a head start on all these persons who are approaching the Lord with severe penances to achieve this and that. You got a head start on everybody just by chanting with love and playing for the service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And Prabhupada confirms this is the actual position of the devotee. The devotee simply wants to be in the presence of the Supreme Lord. That's an interesting statement. We usually say the devotee simply wants to be serving the Lord. Isn't that what you usually say? He only wants devotional service, but now Prabhupada is saying in a different way, he only wants to be in the presence of the Supreme Lord. So this is a contradiction in Prabhupada's teachings? Is Prabhupada contradicting himself? We know he hasn't. So let's understand how Prabhupada is not contradicting himself. It may appear to a mundane scholar that, oh, this Swami Bhaktivedanta, he's always saying the devotee wants nothing but service. Now he's saying he wants nothing but presence. I see that Swami Bhaktivedanta has contradicted himself. He's changing his teachings here. But we devotees know that Prabhupada never contradicts himself. So we have to understand how praying for service and how praying for presence is the same thing. It's a simple thing. Krishna is present, when you're serving him, he's present. If you're not serving him, he's not present. And if you're serving him, he is present. If he's present, that means you're serving him. So it's the same concept. Wanting to serve the Lord with love and wanting to be in his presence, exactly the same thing. It's two ways of looking at the same thing, is it? You can look for this angle or that angle, but you're looking at the same thing. So, my dear Krishna, please bless me, I can be in your presence. We can pray for them, as Prabhupada said so. The only thing I want, Mother, is to be in your presence. Let me feel your presence, let me taste your presence, and that means that I may be fully absorbed in devotional service. It's an interesting point. Now, let's see. Next paragraph. The Lord asked the potatoes to pray for his benediction. That's interesting. They were asked to pray for benediction. Must have been the previous verse. Well, no, it wasn't the previous. They were asked to pray for benediction. That's interesting. What would Krishna said to you, my dear devotee, I want you to pray for benediction? What would you pray for? Well, I need a new job, or I'm looking for a wife, or a nice husband, or whatever. What would you pray for? If the Lord asked you, if Krishna said, my dear devotee, please pray for benediction, what would you ask for? Can I get over my back pain? my swollen feet. What would you pray for if the Lord asked for a prayer for benediction? Well, we should learn here, we shouldn't pray for anything material. My dear Lord, please bless me, I can always taste your beauty and your presence, and by the being in the mode of pure loving service 24/7. Even if Krishna asks you, what can I give you something? Can you? We should listen. We should be intelligent and follow the potato's example, and just pray for devotional service, birth after birth after birth. Not even pray for back to home, back to Godhead. Just pray for devotional service, birth after birth. The purport is that if one must act for benediction, he must act for unlimited benediction. Now that's a nice concept. Unlimited benediction. Why take a limited benediction when I get an unlimited benediction? The word Svatparata, very significant in this verse. Supreme Personality God is Parata Parat. The word Para means transcendental beyond this material realm. So I like this concept, unlimited benediction. That's pure devotional service, pure unlimited benediction. To be unlimitedly blessed by Krishna from now on for all of eternity. You'd have an unlimited, loving taste of relationship from now on for all of eternity. What could be sweeter and more desirable than that? You see? You could pray to have, I have this problem with my feet, or I have this problem with my job, or I have this problem with my family members. You could pray for those things. But even if you got them fulfilled, you're still stuck in the material world. You see? So instead of saying, I want this, I want that, let's be intelligent and simply give me that unlimited benediction, that I may be always engaged in serving you and feeling your presence, so I can actually serve you with love. You see? If you feel Krishna's presence, just like you're doing the deity worship, you think, is this just a doll, then what kind of service you render? But you actually can feel how Krishna is present in the form of the deity. How much your service will be enhanced. If you actually feel Krishna's presence in His holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How much more intensely you would chant if you actually feel how Krishna is dancing on your tongue. It's like that famous prayer of Rupa Goswami, Tunde Tanda Beding Vitinda Detavadi Labda Ye Karna Krorika Dhammani Tunde Tanda Beding Vitinda Detavadi Labda Ye Karna Krorika Dhammani. I'm missing it now. Tunde Tanda Beding, I'm missing it. Tunde tandavidang vitanate tandavila daya karna karta gadamade gatayate kanarbi brahmasaham Sheta pangani sangani vajai surrendra krim najani janita ki yadvir amritari Krishna divarnadva. If we actually feel Krishna is present, you see, he will taste so much nectar in every syllable. They will be praying for millions of mouths, millions of ears. All the senses will no longer crave for any material sense gratification. They'll no longer be attracted to the opposite sex, they'll be attracted to money or power or fame or anything. So if we can feel how Krishna's presence, as Bhaktivinoda says, Ekbar namasi mattare, just once taste the nectar. So if we can learn how to feel and taste and experience and Krishna's full presence in the Maha Mantra. If we can go on chanting 24 hours a day like Hare Rasa Thakur, going deeper, 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 deeper into that sublime ocean, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that sublime ocean of devotional service, unlimited nectar. Rasamrita, the unlimited nectar. Bhakti Rasamrita, the ocean of the unlimited nectar of the name, the fame, the forms, the pastimes of the Lord. So let's try to feel Krishna's presence. When you go to the temple, or you see Radha Damodar, or here in the holy Dham is not different from Krishna. Just try to feel Krishna's presence here. Try to feel how he's present. I especially like that last line, Jamuna Tira Vanachari. I just try to meditate on Krishna wandering the bank of the Jamuna. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. I just try, especially when I sing those lines, I try to visualize how the Jamuna is there. Krishna is wandering on that bank, wandering. He has his flute, he has the beautiful enchanting eyes, he has the peacock feather in his head, and he's wandering up and down the bank of the Jamuna, looking for, engaged in his pleasure pastimes. You see. I just try to meditate on them, intensely meditate on them. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. You see. So let us always feel how Krishna is present in the form of the spiritual master also. Acharya mam bhajani yad navamanyeta kadachit. One should know the spiritual master, Krishna, is the my very self. Not that he is Krishna, but he's the full manifest. Krishna's mercy is fully manifested in the form of the spiritual master. You see, navamanyeta kadachit. Fully, there should be no. One should understand that Krishna is fully present in the form. The spiritual master is the pure representative. So Krishna fully manifests through the form of the spiritual master. So in this way we have to learn how to taste Krishna, and experience Krishna, and to feel the presence of Krishna in every situation. Desha kala patra, in all times, all places and circumstances. And then our lives will be totally sublime. There'll be no more anxiety, no more confusion, and no more delusion. Just completely blissful in every situation, empowered agents of the Supreme Lord to spark off a global transformation of the whole degraded Kali Yuga society. So, I can ask now Guru Maharaj if you'd like to correct any points I made, or add some points.
Well, I have to say that we are hearing all this, how much we practice.
Practically,
this again and again.
practically zero.
We go after material
It's
things
it's practically zero, because that's why we're not feeling the presence of Krishna in every minute. Because practically we've heard it, we talk about it, but our application of it is practically zero. Maybe it's slightly below zero, but not much. You see, that's true. There's Gyan and Vigyan. There's the theoretical knowledge and the practical application. We have the Gyan, but how much Vigyan do we have? Almost zero. That's a almost zero. Any other? Huh?
They still go for the pain and pleasure of the body.
Yeah, that's right. We're so caught up in the pains and pleasures of the body, or the ego, the false ego. It's okay. It's fine. Anybody have any questions? Or we can stop here. Yes.
When we are sick, and if we are supposed to get some service, then can we pray for a good health to Krishna for doing the service better?
Well, the spiritual master always wishes us good health. I know. That's how Prabhupada wrote all his letters, wishing you in good health. The spiritual master's wishes are always there for your good health. Even without your asking. for the benediction. Spiritual master is always wishing his disciple should be in good health. So you don't have to ask for it. The spiritual master is always wishing you good health. His blessing is already there for your good health. You don't need to beg for him. Anything else? Yes.
In the second paragraph of the purport, second line, it says the Lord is unlimited and there are unlimited benedictions.
The Prachetas said them.
Yes, so the Prachetas are saying that the Lord is unlimited and there are unlimited benedictions.
That's right.
So in that case, what do we ask for? Like it's unlimited. Like is there any prayer which is?
Yeah, Hare Krishna mantra is begging for unlimited benedictions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes?
Srila you said one should not ask for going back to home,
Not necessary. Not necessary. You could, but it's not really necessary. If you ask for pure devotional service, that covers everything. Pure devotional service will automatically qualify you for going back to home and to God. It's like say, Krishna, please let me come to your abode. That's what you're saying. But you're not engaging in pure devotional service, and your prayer is a joke. Krishna, please let me come to your abode. It's like saying, please let me come to India, but you don't have a visa. You arrive at the airport, can you please let me enter India, but you don't have a visa. So what's good is you're asking to be allowed to come in India, you don't have a visa. So you got to get your visa. That's pure devotional service. Asking to get in without the visa doesn't make any sense. If you get the visa, then you're all set. Your visa is pure devotional service. So pray for pure devotional service. Automatically, back to home, back to God is included in pure devotional service. Automatically. You don't have to pray separately for back to home, back to God. Krishna, please let me come back to home, back to God. Don't waste your time. Just pray for pure devotional service. That's the best prayer. Okay? Well, the ladies are all full of questions. The men are dumb today. Here we go.
Would I help to understand Lord Chaitanya in Shikshashtakam? He is asking, place me as a particle in your lotus feet. How to understand?
What is he asking?
My desire. I don't know the English.
Huh?
My desire, Lord Chaitanya expressing that is only to place me as a small particle in your lotus feet. How to understand this?
I have not. Krishna Lord
saying that in the Lord Chaitanya's Sikshastakam, it is mentioned that please place me as a
Adama, your lotus feet, yeah. That's very good. It's feeling the presence of the Lord. Again, it's pure devotional service. The same thing, a different way of saying the same thing. Placing one of the atoms at your lotus feet. You don't have to go back to Godhead to be an atom of the lotus feet of the Lord. Devotee feels the presence of the Lord right here, right now in this material world. The lotus feet of the Lord are right there in the Hare Krishna mantra. You don't have to go back to Goloka Vrindavan to be at the lotus feet of the Lord. It's right there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. One could say, well, Hare Krishna is the right foot and Hare Rama is the left foot. It's all there.
But then the chanting of Hare Krishna is also need to be done, purified. Then how pure will be the chanting Hare Krishna mantra that we have got a lotus feet?
That's right. Okay, now, yeah.
In that regard, Gurudev, what is the service there? If you're the atom at the feet, how is that pure devotional service?
If you're adamant for what?
You're trying to become an atom, a particle.
Oh, that means humble. Lower than the straw on the street. Adam means very humble, not a big Vaishnava. Yes, a big Vaishnava. The big monkey, big belly, Ceylon jumping melancholy. Don't become a big Vaishnava, big so-called guru or whatever. Just be a humble servant of the servant, then you're big. That's what Adam means, very, very humble position. Don't just say, I've been devotee for 10 years and I've given so many lectures and now I'm a big preacher, and I got so many students around the world fired up. Just see how big devotee I am. Yeah. No, Adam means very, very humble. I'm nowhere, I'm nobody really, but only somehow by the grace of Guru and Krishna and the Vaishnavas, I'm still here. I haven't fallen into the clutches of Maya because somehow I've been protected by the association of devotees. Adam means very humble. That's what it means. Teeny weeny, itsy bitsy teeny weeny. Devotee, yeah. Any other questions?
Whatever discussions that you guys have expressed to us today, I'm feeling that it is practical when the mind is not agitated. However, if the mind is agitated, remembering Krishna is a simple...
When the mind is agitated, you give it a good kick. You stupid nonsense mind. Yamanacharya would spit. He would spit at his mind when he got off the track. You know that sloka? Yadavari mama chaita Krishna badara vinde navana rasudamacham jamasa tadavari badana babadi smaram babadi mukujna shtiva namsham. You can see tadavari mattanari sangame smaryamani babadi mukujna shtiva namsham. When his mind got off the track, his lips would curl this tastefully. He spit at the thoughts that were in his mind. It's got to be a good spitter. Mind gets off the track. You rascal mind, stop thinking about this or that. Now you come back to Krishna. Chastise that damn. Just like a mother, the mind is the child, and the intelligence is the mother. When the child gets off the track, the mother has to chastise the child, isn't it? So you got to be tough. You got to be tough with your mind. When it gets off the track, give it a good chest, give it a good whack. Get back, you my rascal man. Isn't it? Is it not? The mind, don't let the mind get off the track. Don't let the mind get off the track. The mind is always looking here, looking like these monkeys, jumping. Take a sling. I think they take a slingshot right to the monkey. Take a slingshot to your monkey mind. Keep a good slingshot always handy. Your mind becomes like a monkey. Give it a good shot with a slingshot. Next. Anyone else? Okay, here. Rajaram.
When we restrict your mind, control your mind, then it gets more impression on that thought.
When it gets what?
More prominent impression on the mind. On that
permanent impression. Permanent impression. So you understand the question?
How we eradicate that impression?
When you have a strong material impression,
yes,
it's a matter of higher taste. If your mind gets totally wrapped up in some material thought, you got to find some spiritual thought that's more powerful. The spiritual life is more powerful than material life, but we're oftentimes enchanted by material life instead of spiritual life. So just like, you have to find some way. Maybe it's some tune for the Hare Krishna mantra that really turns you on, or some pastime, or some lecture of Prabhupada. You find something that you're really attracted to, that you're really captured by some material thought. Find something transcendental that you're really attracted to, and absorb yourself in that to get the higher taste. Some lecture or some morning walk conversation or something, some verse, or you can try memorizing another verse that you really like. You really like that verse, but you've never memorized it. So, open your Bhagavad Gita. And I really wish I could have memorized that verse, and now my mind is distracted. Now at this time my mind's totally captivated by Maya. Let me take this time to memorize this verse, you see. Pick out a verse, like, 269. Ya nishasara bhutanam tasham jagrati samyami yashan nagati bhustani sarnasha pushatomune. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective stage. So just pick some verse that you wanted to learn, you heard it, you always loved it, but you never memorized it. Now memorize that verse. It's a good way to drive away all the mental distractions. Remember, took a verse and memorize it. Preachers need to learn verses, so pick out a nice verse you wanted to learn, and Get out your Bhagavad Gita and keep reciting until it's memorized, you see. And that helps to drive away dirty, nasty thoughts from the brain. Memorizing verses is a good trick. It helps you be a good preacher also. So it's killing two birds with one stone, as they said. You can enhance your life as a preacher and help to get your mind out of Maya. Both things at the same time. Anything else? Yes?
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. Regarding services, when we do it at the temple, sometimes it happens that we are kicked out from the services also.
You're what?
We are sometimes, while doing services in the temple, at times something happened that we are being kicked out from
Kicked
the
out
services
from the
what
service.
we do regularly.
Yeah, I've had that experience many times.
And,
My devotional life.
and
As I mentioned yesterday, I was a pretty puffed up character. They would kick me out of the temple completely. Get out of here, they send me somewhere else. It happened many times. I was kicked out of Austin. I was kicked out of the road, Vishnu's Not Party, kicked out of Miami, I got kicked out 4 times. But then I improved, and then they were competing who would get me. But 4 times I was kicked out of the temple, 4 times. But after that I mellowed out a bit, and I was competing who would get me.
so what should be the attitude of that devotee who feels little different? Obviously, when we are
Well, you should think, if you're kicked out of some service, you think, well, I got a lot to learn. There must be something wrong with my attitude. I have to become more Krishna conscious. I'm doing this service, and they say, no, you can't. Then you should look at what's my defect. What is my defect? Instead of finding fault with them, find the fault with yourself. You see? What's the defect in me that they took the service away? They didn't like my attitude. I wasn't doing a proper job. You have to look for the fault in yourself. Try to use it as a positive experience of learning what you were doing wrong. Instead of becoming depressed or angry, take it as a learning experience to see, what did I do wrong, you see. I was doing this service, the Guru Maharaji said, you can't do it anymore. Is Guru Maharaji being a tyrant? No, I have to see, what I do wrong in that service, you see. Why did she take the service away from me? I must have, maybe my attitude wasn't right, or I was being too sloppy, or too careless, rushing too much. Look for your fault. See what you're doing wrong. And that way you improve.
If you don't want to improve, you will go away yourself.
If you don't want to improve, you'll be kicked out again and again and again and again. Your whole life will be kicked.
You put the blame on the person who touched you.
Yeah. Okay, next question? Yeah.
As you just mentioned that a spiritual world is a matter of consciousness also.
The spiritual world
Is a matter of consciousness also.
is a physical place, and it's also a state of consciousness, both.
What does it mean, Gurudev? Would you explain more on it?
Krishna is fully present in his name. The spirit, actually, Goloka Vrindavan is fully present within the Hare Krishna mantra. If you dive deep enough into the Hare Krishna mantra, you'll see you're already in Goloka Vrindavan. The trouble is we're still attracted to the material world. We're still trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. But actually the form, the deity form, Krishna himself, the Goloka Vrindavan is right here in the Krishna Balaram temple. The thing is, our consciousness is still attracted to material nature. That's the difficulty. Does that help? Does that make it clear? Okay, any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Gurudev, while doing services or practicing Krishna consciousness, we tend to ignore people who are around, or maybe family members.
Well, that may be good sometimes. So my mother, she came to my initiation ceremony with a Bible. And my son, you're getting off the track, here's a Bible, get back to Jesus. She didn't realize I was a better Christian than she was. So you sometimes have to ignore these stupid family members who don't understand what's going on, who completely call us an illusion. Ignoring them is sometimes very good. My father, well, that was pretty cool, but my mother was like... So my father actually got the benediction of hearing the holy name when he left. Because my father was favorable, he got the benediction upon leaving his body. Guru Maharaj over there doing a kirtan for him, he left his body. So those family members who are favorable, Krishna will bless them with some special benedictions. Those are unfavorable, good luck. They as you sow, so shall you reap. It's sad that some of them don't appreciate it. But sometimes I turn around. This is my brother. I said, we can come do some kirtan at your house. He said, can we do something a little more serene? But then later on, after my book came out, he came and met with me and brought a Christian minister also. They asked me all kinds of questions about my book. So sometimes I turn around. My brother turned around, became more friendly and favorable. So be patient. Sometimes after a few years, they may turn around. Be patient with them. Don't reject them, but distance yourself from them also. If they're giving you some nonsense baloney, as we say in America, baloney. Does that help? Okay, and I saw another. See, we have to ignore this is much of baloney. Okay, now what? Next one, yeah. Prashadam?
I've got services after this.
Really?
I've got services.
Okay, well, this is the last question then. We have service to do for Prashadam. And the last question.
Yes, I remember that Dhruva Maharaj, when was offered to ask for benediction, one of the, what he was asking Lord Vishnu is to be in the association of devotees. How can we understand this? To be in association of pure devotees? And this is
He was asking for a kingdom greater than his father's. That's what he was asking for.
no, this is when he met Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu asked for me any benediction.
Oh, that he gave up the mature benediction, asked for association of devotees.
He was asking for spiritual
Oh, that's very good.
And he was asking to be always in the association.
That's a very good prayer. We can all beg that.
And what this means to be in association with pure devotees.
Like here in the room, those who are strictly following the path, they're considered pure devotees. Papa said all my disciples are pure devotees. One time, he gave us a lot of credit, but someone said, "Oh yeah," they asked him, "At what time did you realize the highest truth?" And they kept asking it again and again and again and again and again. And Papa finally said, at the age of 4 or 5, and he said, "If your disciples realize the highest truth?" And Prabhupada said, "Yes, they've all realized the highest truth. So otherwise, why were they after me? I'm a poor man. Why were they after me? Because they realized the highest truth." So the devotees who have sincerely taken up serving Prabhupada's mission, we want their association. And to be in their association means to actually to follow the teachings of Prabhupada. When you're following the instructions of the Guru and Krishna seriously, then you're always in the association of those who are doing the same thing, even if it's just within your heart. Even while you're out in the field taking care of the cows, you see. If you're sincerely trying to serve the mission of the spiritual master and Lord Chaitanya, then you're wrapped up tightly in the association of all those who are doing the same thing. You see. It's like I have certain grandbrothers that are very dear to me, and even when I'm not physically with them, I feel their presence. You see. Does that make sense? Okay, that's it. We'll stop here. We thank everybody for tuning in. Hare Krishna.